Hi there, welcome to the Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Dovston. As always, wonderful to have you with me today. How did it go last week with those first few tentative steps into new beginnings? And of course, the abundance that was there for us to activate last week. And of course, the overall abundance we're learning about and being asked to focus on for July 2019. So this week, let's focus on what we are being asked to pay attention to or focus on for the week commencing the 8th of July 2019. Our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 57, the gentle. And this hexagram is what's called a doubling. In other words, it's two energies of wind or wood as the element working together to make a very strong image and concept around the gentle penetration of wind that slowly moves through, creates insight, and moves mountains one grain of sand at a time. Understanding sand dunes is a fantastic way of understanding this state of change. The wind slowly but surely moves every single grain of sand one at a time, and you have these shifting dunes moving. Think also of the effect of plants who send their roots down between the rocks and through the soil. If you've ever seen those time-lapse videos of plants sending the roots down, they look quite alien the way they're able to break apart rock and really overcome great obstacles through a very gentle material and a gentle process. So this week, we're being asked to pay attention to getting gently to the heart of the situation, of working our way with gentle means, with subtle ideas, to get to the end result. This is not a force of nature that's a big energy. This is about gently and with nurturing and with subtle energy, working our way around the obstacles, just as those roots do as they go down through the layers of the soil. And so we're being asked to be gentle, to be kind, to be tentative, to be probing and curious, but doing that in a very gentle, step-by-step process. The key value of this energy is perseverance. Wind that tries to move that sand dune and gives up after the first attempt is not going to get there. Wind succeeds in its task because it does so every day. It moves and moves and moves and moves. And so in your personal life, in your business life, there's something around perseverance and around gently and slowly moving the obstacles away one at a time that we're being drawn to this week. We have two changing lines. The first changing line is in the third position, and this changing line talks about our will, so our personal will to move that sand dune, now overstepping the boundaries of gentleness. So becoming quite forceful in trying to force the sand dune. Perhaps there's some frustration that you are experiencing this week where you're wanting just to, come on, let's just do it. Let's force the situation. Let's apply our will and hammer it in and make it happen. And so if we can just, in this week, be aware of where we are being drawn to do that, where we're feeling that frustration of wanting to enforce our will, of pushing an agenda, just to go, hold up, maybe this is not going to get us the result we need. Sometimes when we push too hard on something, we get the opposite. We get even more obstruction. Our second changing line for this week is in the fifth position. And this is a very beneficial position for this state of change. Remembering that these changing lines bring us particular forces of change that are trying to make themselves known and are trying to help us become better human beings, better leaders, better people. This changing line really is asking us to go for it. We have been collating and building and pulling things together to help us achieve what we want to do. And now what we need to do is apply that and move and go for it. And there's a process here that talks about evaluating what happens before and evaluating what happens after the change. It's almost like we're drawing our forces, drawing things together. We've been collating those grains of sand, and now it's time to make that transition, make that change. And we're being asked to just be aware. And they talk about 3 days before, 3 days after. So in this week, of just being conscious of this change that we're being drawn to, where we've been harnessing the grains of sand, pulling them towards us. The resources have been collecting and we've been persevering in that, and now we can push through that change barrier. And then as we round out the week, we have Hexagram 4, which is called Youthful, Folly. Now, we had this hexagram the week before last, and this talks about recognizing where we are immature, inexperienced, and feeling like we are an idiot amongst superior people, right? So part of this process of this week, the way that we can maximize the value of this week is recognizing where we don't have the experience, where we don't have the maturity or the skill set to go where we need to go, and just recognizing and being open to learning. Previously, I used the example of seeking the master, and when the student is ready, the master appears. So too, when you are ready to accept that there's learning to be done, the learning can come to you. That can be a course, that can be the right person, it can be a word of advice, it can be a coffee with a mentor. It's about just saying, in this particular area, I don't actually know what I'm doing. And if we go into this process saying, I know it all, in a world where we don't know it all, that is how we land up falling off the edge of the cliff, because we're so busy trundling off the path. We're like, lemming, off we go. So it's about recognizing this week about the areas where we are not up to the task 100%, but there are areas that we can learn if we just accept they are to be learned and we don't get our ego and pride in the way. Interesting week, slow and gentle. It's about harnessing all those grains of sand, focusing them in the right direction, not pushing too hard the agenda, the will, because you will get some obstacles, but then towards the end of the week, being able to accept our inexperience, but being able to draw together everything we've been working on and move forward. Very, very interesting for us all. Please do go along and check out July's overview, just to give you context around the overall processes of July that we're being asked to pay attention to. And also, if you're on Instagram, go and check out and follow us on Instagram at I Ching Cafe. We have daily stories with a piece of wisdom from the I Ching every day. I cast the coins every day to ask what we should pay attention to that day, and we post that as a story. So go along to that. And if you're on Facebook, we have a Facebook page that's newly up that will allow you to engage and share. I really encourage you to go along there and go and share your experiences of working with the hexagrams and the changing lines of every week, because that is how we learn as a collective. Hoping to see you online, Facebook and Instagram. And of course, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.